Hello, 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 and welcome to Bad Mouse Gaming. I'm your host, Dave, aka Bad Mouse, and we are back at Astro Colony with a how-to video, kind of. An explanation video, if you will. But, yeah, so today we're going to talk about these logic blocks. Logistic blocks is what they're officially called. And I'm going to show you how to set up each one of these in detail and what they're used for and what kind of creative ways you could use these. I'm going to show you a real world experience of how I'm using these in my game. So when we get done here, we'll switch over to my map and I'll show you where I've used them and how. But before we get started with this awesome video, let me remind everybody, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click that subscribe button down there. It does mean an awful lot to me. And leave a comment. Let me know if this video was helpful for you, or if you learned anything. If you thought you knew everything and I had taught you something new, I want to hear. And of course, hit that like button. That lets me know you guys are enjoying this content. And with all that, let's jump into this and let's check out these logistic blocks. Alright, so two blocks we're going to talk about first is the filter block and the blocking block. These are the two that you'll probably use the most of if you do like I do with your auto catchers. But you can use them in other places too. They do come in very, very handy. So for the filter blocks, so your auto catchers has got two outputs, so we're utilizing both those outputs by designating certain items to go off of one belt and another item to go off of another belt. So that way you can have your belts going in two different directions, like I take my ice and carbon, send it off in one direction. Oh, it says my oxygen is low. My oxygen is low. I have been working a little bit trying to get this set up. I'm in creative mode, so I guess I just didn't think about the oxygen. But anyhow, so what I do is I'll filter ice and carbon because then we can use the pushing block. That would be this one here, to push the carbon off the line and have it go somewhere else. And all you gotta do is lay this down, click on it by hitting your E button, and then you can set up your filters here. So if you want carbon, ice, and we're just gonna say this, even though we know this can't come through the auto catchers, neither can this. So let's pretend like it does catch this stuff, and we want it to go a specific way. We could even do dirt somewhere, you know, I don't know. But then you can click up here and take them back out as easily as you put them in. Once you have all that set up, and you got only the carbon and the ice or whatever you designate coming out that particular output, then you can come over here to the blocker. And the reason why we use a blocker on this side, because instead of using a filter and saying, yes, allow this. Oh, we ran out. We can't allow everything. So instead of allowing everything except for these two, we're just going to say block these two. So now nothing's going to come out this exit except for everything's going to come out this exit except for these two items that's being blocked. So they're not allowed to come out. But the filter is saying, yes, I will accept those two items only out this side. So that's your filter and that's your blocker. I love it. I love it. Now, once you've got your ore going multiple places and you're trying to set up different things, you get yourself some splitters here. Same thing with the other two. You could say everything goes forward except for, let's say, ice. We are going to split the ice out 3 different ways. So the only thing that's going to go left or right is going to be ice now. Here comes some ice. It's also going to go forward because we have that split. Now, what we can do is take that split, make the forward one 0, which would change this to a 50-50 output. Or what we could do is change this one to like a 7. Make that kind of a guessing game for me. A 6. Now, I'm trying to get to like a 3rd. 4. Oh, that's pretty close. There we go, 2575. So what that will do is it will no longer allow ice to go forward, but for every 1 ice that goes off to the left, 2 ices are going to go off to the right. I guess we need more ice in the system here, huh? We could do that real quick. That's good for now. So we'll wait for that ice to come around. Hopefully it all comes. It's going to split and come back together. I have another little example. But basically what I had over there set up was to show you if you only had 2 ways instead of 3. So we're going to see 1 go left and 2 go right. 2 go right, 1 go left. This one should go left, I believe. Yep. So that's how that works. And then, of course, you can do multiple things. You could also have your copper doing the same thing, being split off 1-to-2 ratio like that. And then everything else would just go forward. It would be kind of like a filter also, because if you want to filter your iron off that direction, and you want your rest of your stuff going to different smelters and 2 different smelters maybe, you could even that all out that way. If you make that 1-to-1, that makes it 50-50. And then of course the iron will never be split because it's not part of the filter system that we have here. So iron will always keep traveling forward. So now I do want ice to go forward a little bit because my next block is right in front of us here. And we need ice to come here. So this is our pusher block. It looks like this. It's got the arrows in there to fast forward or to rewind, however you're looking at it. But it's push. So when you set up your filters here, everything that you put in your filters is going to be knocked off in that direction. It won't be allowed to go forward. So if you got carbon and iron, you want that to go forward, we would take the copper and the ice and push that off this way. It's nice to have the filter system, especially with the splitters here, because you could do so much with all these combined that you can pretty much have total control of where everything's at with a limited number of belts. And that pretty much takes care of all the logistic blocks. I have done a video, you see it up here in the corner, on the signaling blocks. That was interesting to learn, but we got that figured out too. But I couldn't recall if I did one on this video on the logistic block, so I wanted to do one real quick. So now let's switch over to my map so I can show you in real world how I've used these blocks together. Alright, so here we are on my little world. I got things moving along pretty good, I guess. Let's get upstairs here. And I'm going to show you what I have done and why. So here we got, starting with the auto catchers. We have blockers all the way down. It is blocking carbon and ice, carbon and ice, carbon and ice. So the only thing that's going to come out on this belt is going to be copper and iron, because that's the only 4 things these auto catchers can catch. So I don't want that mixing in with the other stuff that I'm doing. So over here on this side we have the filters, which is only allowing carbon and ice to come out. And it seems like we have a rogue piece in there. Oh, we got another one. Alright, so that's moving along. And then I have these going to smelters, this going to ice crusher, and then the carbon is being broken off, and we'll show you how I do that. But I got 4 lines, 2 rows on top, 2 rows down below on each side. And let me turn my gravity off. This bottom row, this row, and that bottom row all have these filter systems set up exactly the same. This top row is different because I need carbon to go to one of my smelters to make the rods. So we need plates and carbon in our smelter area. Now the way I get that is this row here is only blocking ice, which means carbon is allowed to come out this side, and occasionally it will. But on this side, I also have to allow carbon. Actually, no. I am going to take carbon off this side. Now, carbon will only come out this side, and it will go to the smelter area where it will mix in with the plates and make my rod. So that's the only time I do anything different. When I first start off and I only have 6, the last 2 will be doing that. I'm going to start doing that for sure, because ever since I've started it, it's made a lot more sense. That way, 1/4 of all the carbon I'm catching is going into a smelter. So now, the way this is set up, that top line is going to mix in with this bottom line, which goes this way, and then carbon's being pushed off to go that way into storage. Ice will continue forward, and then it's being split 2 ways here. So half's going that way, half's going that way. The half that goes this way is being split 3 ways between my 3 ice crushers, and the half that goes this way is being split between the other 3 crushers. That's why I've got 6 crushers. Now everything was kind of jammed up, so once this ice starts flowing in here, all these crushers will start to spin up, and they'll be producing a lot of water there. Just gotta watch your flow. So you see, I don't recall putting that there. That was super, super weird. But, yeah, so there's my blockers and my filters in real world situation here. Pushers, pushing off the carbon so that I have control. This is coming from upstairs and down. This belt's going off in this direction, doing the same thing, mixing in with that same belt. So it's kind of getting pushed off in a couple places here. 3 places to be exact. Now on to where we go to the next stage. So all that ore, we got this ore coming in. And then we have this smelter here. So we got 2 smelters going. This smelter's doing a brunt of the work. You see we got some carbon in there. And that's coming straight off the catchers. And then we also have some plates here. And you can see I'm not using any transport bots. And we are making pipes. So the carbon, self-explanatory. We know how that gets in here. That's just being fed in. Right there's a piece of carbon now. That's being fed in right off the line from over there where I set that up. Now the plates. Plates require steel iron beam or the iron bars. So the smelter here is smelting up the iron bars. The iron bars will come out of this hole here. This hole here. That's also making iron and copper bars. But once it comes out, I have a splitter right here. I have the left turned off. We got a straight and a right. But we have a filter in place where only the iron bars are going to get split. So everything else... Well, you're stealing my iron bars there, aren't you? They know where to find them. What can we take? Let's take this out of there. There we go. Now, if you watch, the iron bars will start to split off. I got some of it going to storage. And some of it going to down here. To this little constructor here. The constructor is taking those iron bars and converting them into plates. We all know how that works. So right there was off the splitter. You saw that? If I can get a view up in there. I don't think I can. It's saying I'm standing on something. Anyhow, up there is the splitter where this side here is going straight to storage. This side here is going downstairs, coming around the corner, and going into our constructor here. Then the constructor is going to spit the plates out. And here I have a splitter. I don't need to put any kind of resource filter on there because the only thing that's coming out is the plates. We could choose plates, and that would happen. But it doesn't really change the effects of anything. You only need to set a filter if you're specifically having problems with wrong things going to wrong places. So I have a splitter here because this side will continue up and go right into storage. So that way we have plates going into our base warehouse. So we can craft from that. You need plates for a lot of stuff. You need them for belts and all kinds of good stuff. Now, this particular direction is going all the way down here. That shouldn't be there either. And it's going up. And being fed right back into the same machine that made the iron bars. And then once it comes in here, it'll mix with the carbon that we were feeding in here. And it'll make my iron rods. And then from from there, my iron rods will go right into storage here. And then from storage, we got the little logistic bots working its little butts off there. And it'll bring in iron bars, iron rods, aluminum bars, and all that. But the reason why they're not doing anything now and only doing this iron, because if you click on your logistic bots, you see the number 50 here. So that means as long as there's 50, they're going to grab 5 at a time. If you set that ratio down to 1, then they won't wait for 5. They'll just grab 1 and go. But here they're going to wait until 50, or just below 50, before they go and try to retrieve more. So let's see if we can wake up some of these bots here. There, see, they recognize now there is missing rods in there. So they're going to run over there. It's a shame they just can't run right over here to this. They have to go all the way down. But just as fast as you see them come right back up with rods on top. And there they are. So they're doing their job. He's hungry. He wants some food. We're going to be setting up the farm. Don't worry. It doesn't hurt them. They're not going to die. If they run out of food, it's okay. Just let them stand there. You just won't be researching anything until you feed them again. Alright, so that's my little operation, and that's how I'm using these blocks at the moment. Stay tuned to my next video, because we are going to be setting up farms and stuff. So if you need to learn how to set up a farm, you can learn it from here. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought about this little quick tutorial. And of course, click that like button if this was something you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching. See you guys next turn.